Hi, everybody. My name is Jack Russell. I serve as president and CEO of OneZone Chamber, which is located in Hamilton County, Indiana. Just north of Indianapolis, we proudly serve a little over 1,300 members, making us one of the larger chambers in the state and definitely in a region that is fast growing. And so today I'm going to provide you with our regional action plan through this fellowship that has really been enjoyable for me and really eye-opening to our region as a whole as well. So our focus, we met in Washington, D.C., and our main focus as a fellowship was to find areas in which we can lead when it comes to our communities. And so when we look at the regional action plan for us here in Hamilton County, there is a really big need to strengthen Hamilton County's early career pipeline. And what that means is not early as in K through 12, but post K through 12. Being able to find those opportunities. And so I do want to share with you really step one here, which is the problem. And so for us, Hamilton County is a great place to live. It's one of the fastest growing places to live, one of the best places to live. And so that rapid growth, but what we're seeing is there's early career talent growth that it's not keeping pace with the employer's demand. And so for us, there's really three core problem points that we want to hit on. Number one is that our population growth does not equal workforce sustainability. So since 2010, our population has grown by 32% in the county, but we still see employers struggling with filling in entry-level positions. Through this fellowship was even took this fellowship and really began to create even a survey to our membership. Surveyed about 150 businesses in our community, of which 88% said that they are still continually having trouble filling entry-level positions. And in addition to that, retaining that talent is about 90% difficulty of retaining that talent as well. The other problem within Hamilton County that we find is that workforce is aging. And so our median age right now is 37.8, so 38. But ages 25 to 44 make up about 27% of our population. And so there really needs to begin to create a leadership pipeline when it comes to making sure that we're not at risk with our young talent. And so we do think, as we kind of look at different areas in which I think our pain points, one of those, I think, of course, one of those I always think is that we don't have mountains and oceans. But I think the other piece here is we are in a time, and I think this is across the country, but really a difficult time when it comes to our median rent prices continue to increase close to $2,000 a month. And our median home prices as of last month were at $665,500. So with a tight labor market and intense competition for talent, these are really three key problem areas that we think are really a part of this slowing down of being able to find talent. So one of the questions that came up in the fellowship was, why the chamber, why you? And I think what was really impactful about that was, why do we as OneZone believe that we can lead in this work? And I think this is true for all chambers. And so one of the things I wanted to really touch on here is that it is not just a chamber initiative that we've put together here, but it's a true regional or countywide strategy that's led our organization to be positioned and aligned. So here's really, for me, the 5 reasons why we find ourselves being positioned really well to take on some of these work when it comes to taking on some of that young talent. Number one, we're employer-driven leadership. We are a business organization. Like many of you that are watching, this is a business organization, and that gives us the ability to be the voice for business, to get access to business, to hear from businesses. Next, we're a regional convener. We are very, very good at being connectors and conveners as chambers of commerce. And so what better place for us to play that role than convening and bringing people to the table? Honestly, we already have the infrastructure in place. I think this is really important when it comes to leadership programs, when it comes to networking opportunities, and then also when it comes to the digital platform. That's something that we've really invested in here at OneZone as well. So the other two that I want to make sure that I hit on are 2 things. Number one, like I said, innovation and storytelling. We're very good on our media platforms of sharing our member stories. This translates really, really well to talking about our young talent and how do we then engage them as well. Next is proven regional leadership. So I think this is really important, is if your chamber has a history of making sure, like ours, that we are at the table and we are helping lead and convene, I think you bring a lot of level of trust and respect. And I think that's what helps lead in some of these works, and that people join you. And this is why through the fellowship, having conversations with peers, that's when we developed a new initiative focused on this issue. And so, again, had some great conversations with friends through the fellowship. And that's why we have created here at OneZone, through this fellowship, the Next Gen. And so now I really want to talk to you about what this means. What is Next Gen? What is it going to do for us as a Chamber of Commerce? And quite frankly, through the fellowship, how this came to be through the fellowship as well. So we sat down and we decided, okay, how are we going to think different when it comes to attracting talent and really engaging our young professionals? And so the mission of Next Gen is to connect emerging professionals and employers through collaboration and collaborative talent ecosystem that strengthens leadership pipelines, supports workforce development, and enhances long-term regional competitiveness in Hamilton County. So what we're really focused on, which I think is unique after having conversations both with fellowships and our membership, is how do we bring our young talent and not create its own platform by themselves, but how do we bring our employers along with them to create an ecosystem where both of them are working together to learn from each other, to bounce ideas off of each other, and to share their expertise from each other. And honestly, the vision for this is a region where early career talent chooses to live, work, and lead, and employers have access to strong, sustainable pipeline for future leaders. So if we can get them both to the table to have conversations, I think that plays an invaluable role in what we can create as a Chamber of Commerce. So through this fellowship as well, we really looked at, okay, here's your program, here's your idea. What are the inputs, outputs, outcomes, and the impact that you're going to make? And so for us, what powers Next Gen is chamber leadership and strategic coordination. And getting buy-in from your board is everything. Our board is right on this and understands that this is a big need in our community, and it's somewhere where no one else is filling this for us. This is a great opportunity to cross-sector with government, education, and workforce organizations, so bringing everybody to the table. And then, of course, there's always opportunities to sponsor and create opportunities for revenue streams as well. When we talk about the outputs or what we deliver, that's expanding our programming. Some folks may have leadership programs already in their chamber. We do not. And quite honestly, there's not really anything in the county that gives a leadership opportunity. So we've really dove in and actually created the OneZone Leadership Institute through this program as well within Next Gen. So we launch and expand the Next Gen programs through not only networking programs, but also workshops. We look at leadership opportunities in networking, and then, of course, creating community partnerships along the way with that. So with the outcomes, what changes for us? It increases our employers' confidence. I think it looks as well for our employers, looks at us differently than not just an event house, but really gives them the opportunity to connect them to really their next great hire. And higher engagement among young professionals. That is really our main goal as well, is how do we get them involved and engaged in the chamber as well. So when it comes to the impact of the long term is about 3 to 5 years as we kind of look at the future of this and what this can look like. And so stronger and more sustainable workforce pipeline, a greater alignment across region partners, and then increased visibility. And I can tell you right away, this has really been happening. Hamilton County Tourism, in partnership with us, we know where they're spending their dollars effectively when it comes to marketing our county. So how do we then also pair that with, not only is it a great place to visit, but here's a great place to live and work as well. So within the Next Gen talent ecosystem, so I want to talk about the strategic pillars right here. So it's the talent ecosystem, the regional alignment, leadership and retention experiences, and then digital storytelling. I think that's really important as we kind of break down what is Next Gen and what is the purpose and how do we really try to, give ourselves goals and accomplish things. So talent ecosystem launch the scale is a two-sided, like I said, two-sided ecosystem with young professionals and employers finding ways to work together, and working within that strategy is equipping businesses with the tools and strategies they need to engage young talent. I think that's going to be crucial and is truly a need within our community. The regional alignment, like we've talked about as collaborators and conveners, is bringing people to the table, having those conversations. What can one person do? What can one person help with? How do we begin to show that this is a valuable tool within our organization and within the community that we can really get behind and support? And then again, through the fellowship, this is what we've began to create, which is developing leadership programs, developing workshops, looking at community-based initiatives, looking at partnering with some of our larger economic development and partnering with them and learning more about what are our large employers, how are they hiring, do they have young talent, what does the young talent need to be successful in our community. And so I think it's really important as we begin to create relationships. So our goal here is not only leadership, but then also working on the retention side for our businesses as well. And then one thing that came about as well is being more impactful in storytelling. Many of you probably have a very similar saying, but we always joke that there's the Hoosier humbleness in Indiana. And so for us, what we find fascinating is we're not always the best at storytelling. And we need to share the stories of success stories in ways that people can engage. And so not only are we using a third-party marketing group to work with us on some marketing communications pieces to do better, we're also honestly partnering with local social media influencers to work on this. We have about 3 or 4 that we're working with right now to create opportunities and to engage our young talent right where they are. And so that's been a really great experience for us, is how do we get to our young professionals and young talent and engage them with opportunities that are right here in their own backyard. So as we wrap up today, I really want to talk about where we've been, where we are, and then where we're going. And so where we've been very successful when it comes to population growth. But at the same time, like I said, population growth does not mean that there's not a struggle. And the struggle there is that the employers increasingly are struggling to attract and retain early career talent. And so that traditional young professional model where they're almost isolated from the rest of the Chamber of Commerce is not something that we're going to be doing here at OneZone. We want to give them the ability to interact and engage with the employer side as well. And then OneZone's built really strong partnerships and programs. And our goal is, because we've been successful in those, that we're going to begin to engage in the next step of what does this chamber look like. And so where are we at today? We've launched the Next Gen Talent ecosystem. We have our board paired with young professionals, paired with employers. We've strengthened our partnerships, meeting on a quarterly basis with our key stakeholders. We're expanding our leadership experiences. We have a first class of 35 individuals who are going through our Leadership Institute. And then also using digital storytelling. Like I said, we're working with I think we're at 3 right now, social media influencers, and then working with our marketing company to make sure that we are truly sharing a better story and a stronger story of Hamilton County as a whole. So what does this mean and where are we going? The goal is a long-term workforce sustainability, not a short-term activity. And so creating long-term opportunities, putting this as a staple within the Chamber of Commerce, increasing visibility and connectivity to existing and future young professionals. And that at the end of the day, if there's one thing that we want to be known for, is that Hamilton County is recognized as a destination where future leaders choose to live, work, and grow. And I think that's really, really valuable as we look forward to what we're trying to accomplish with Next Gen. So at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you to ACCE and this fellowship. It has been so eye-opening, not only to have amazing peers from across the country to learn more about what they're doing, what's successful and what's not working, but also the time in Washington, D.C. was so valuable, not only sitting in the classroom, but having dinner and pieces like that and learning more about each community. It really helped me as a leader understand where can OneZone as a whole play a role in our community. and not just sit back. How do we lead? How do we execute? And so I just want to say thank you to ACCE, and I truly appreciate it, and truly appreciate this, and excited to share with you guys in the next 3 to 5 years the successes that are going on right here in Hamilton County because of this fellowship.